and thank you for joining us. This is the fourth recording in our 8-part series for new leader training for MNCoE Innovations. And in this section, we are going to think about family engagement. So what is family engagement? Family engagement is the opportunities that we create for meaningful partnerships with the families that we serve. And knowing that families are critical partners for this work and full team members of our implementation and decision-making, we want to be thinking about how to engage families in the beginning stages in terms of doing planning, as well as ongoing opportunities to create meaningful participation for family members. So for example, if we're having a pyramid model family night, we'll want to engage families to find out when is the best time to have a family night. What should we do during family night? How can we best support the development of social emotional skills for children between home and school? And considering different families' perspectives and needs is an important piece of making those decisions. So let's go ahead and start by looking through the implementation manual. I'm going to use the classroom engagement model as an example. Remember, you can find the implementation team manual electronically on the share site on the implementation team tab. I can click on the upper right-hand corner and move into section number 3, which is promoting family engagement. The resources in here will be valuable for your team to take a look at, but starting with the overview section, I'm going to invite you now to pause and read through the initial box in whichever innovation your team is implementing about rolling out the innovation and strategies for informing families. So after reading through the strategies for informing families, you may have taken notes about the ideas you know are already in place in your program. Maybe you're not sure if this information exists in a family handbook and you'd like to ask someone on the implementation team, or maybe you have some questions for your external coach. So moving forward, some of the initial family communication options are posted on the share sites of each of the innovations. We have a flyer about what classroom engagement model is. There's some examples of how you might introduce the EQIP practices to families. And then we have a template for you to use to explain to families what pyramid model is and how that is used in your program. When you think about your role as an administrator in the program supporting family engagement, some things that you may be best suited to do is to ensure opportunities for soliciting input from families on a regular basis. You might be thinking about how can you embed some questions or some opportunities to provide feedback into regular communication. Maybe that's during conferences or at open house night or during a regular newsletter. So thinking about how we're going to gather input from families in addition to giving those flexible pathways for distributing information. We want to make sure that as administrators, we're supporting the implementation team's effort to embed innovation-specific strategies into our current family engagement opportunities. Remember, the goal of program-wide adoption is that these become business as usual. So if you are a classroom engagement site and you have an open house, we might be embedding child interest into our open house because that's an innovation specific strategy that increases engagement. So thinking about how can the implementation team be continuously blending our new practices and information with things we currently do with families, and then finding out in what ways is that supporting families and in what ways could we improve. Thinking about those meaningful homeschool connections are part of the administrator's role, big picture for your program and specifically with your implementation work. And then adopting a culture that is inclusive, where all families and children are valued, and we have a lens on culturally responsive practice so that we are inclusive, we're considerate, and we're open-minded. So this is the end of our 4th recording. We'll leave you again with some independent application. You can pause and keep these questions open as long as needed. Some things you might consider looking into is, where does your team document those processes for family engagement? Hopefully they're part of your implementation plan. Some things you may need to ask the implementation team about is the current plan for gathering input, the current plan for sharing information, the information that's available to new families, and any current action steps or opportunities for future action steps. And finally, you can just reflect. How can you get more information or deepen your understanding about family engagement in your program and in relation to this innovation? So thank you for watching. We'll have our 5th series up next.